3I/ATLAS broke the laws of physics again. At 14:42 UTC yesterday, 3I/ATLAS simply disappeared. Not gradually fading from view, not moving out of telescope range. One moment it was there, broadcasting its enigmatic signals from the edge of our solar system. The next moment, empty space. For 17 minutes and 34 seconds, the most watched object in human history had vanished completely from every sensor on Earth. Radio telescopes heard nothing. Optical arrays saw darkness. Even gravitational wave detectors registered no disturbance where a city-sized mass should have been warping space-time. Then it reappeared 340 million kilometers closer to Earth, positioned near Jupiter's orbital path with mathematical precision that defied every law of motion we understand. In those 17 minutes, 3I/ATLAS had somehow traversed a distance that light itself would need 19 minutes to cross. It had simply ceased to exist in one location and resumed existing in another. This wasn't movement, this was teleportation on a cosmic scale. And it brought friends. Tonight we'll examine the impossible physics of what happened, decode the new signals, and explore the scenarios that have government officials quietly activating protocols they hoped never to use. Because what occurred yesterday didn't just change our understanding of alien technology, it changed our understanding of reality itself. The countdown to Halloween just got a lot shorter, and the rules of the game just got rewritten. The European Southern Observatory was first to sound the alarm. The object was there at 14:41:58, broadcasting normally, reported a shift supervisor. At 14:42:00, we were looking at empty space, no fade-out, no diminishing signal strength, just nothing. Within minutes, emergency protocols activated across the global observation network. Every instrument pointed at 3I/ATLAS's. Coordinates was receiving the same impossible data. Silence. But the vanishing was more complete than simple invisibility. Gravitational monitoring stations suddenly registered flat readings. The gravitational signature had vanished along with the object itself. "It's as if the mass simply stopped existing," explained one gravitational physicist. The mass energy had been removed from our universe entirely. At 15 hours, 0 minutes, 2 seconds UTC, every sensor array on Earth simultaneously detected a massive electromagnetic pulse from Jupiter's orbital vicinity, exactly where an object would need to be positioned for a perfect gravitational slingshot maneuver. 3I/ATLAS was back, but it had appeared 340 million kilometers from where it should have been, having crossed nearly a third of the distance between Mars and Jupiter in 17 minutes and 34 seconds. "We're not just looking at faster-than-light travel," one theoretical physicist noted grimly. "We're looking at something that treats space and time as optional." The moment 3I/ATLAS rematerialized, it began broadcasting signals unlike anything detected during its months-long approach. Gone were the mathematical sequences and star maps. Instead, radio telescopes detected systematic sweeps across multiple frequencies, probing electromagnetic signatures from every satellite and space station in Earth's vicinity. "It's conducting an active sensor sweep," explained a signals intelligence analyst, using sophisticated electromagnetic pulses to build a complete picture of our technological capabilities. The scanning revealed unsettling precision. Communication satellites received focused beams lasting exactly 2.3 seconds each. Military reconnaissance platforms got 4.1 seconds. The International Space Station warranted 7.8 seconds. Most disturbing was its ability to distinguish between civilian and military assets. 6 hours later, 3I/ATLAS began transmitting compressed data packets, enormous bursts of information at frequencies far beyond human technological capabilities. Cryptographers made a chilling discovery. Embedded within the streams were fragments of human radio and television broadcasts, satellite telemetry data, and even snippets of encrypted military communications. It's not just scanning us, one NSA analyst reported, it's talking to someone else. And it's using our own communications as examples of what it found here. Even more unsettling was 3I/ATLAS's real-time responses to human activities. When the European Space Agency adjusted satellite orbits, 3I/ATLAS immediately shifted its scanning patterns. When military radar went to alert status, transmissions intensified proportionally. It's learning, observed one xenobiologist, not just cataloging what we have, but studying how we react to its presence. The teleportation event shattered fundamental assumptions about advanced space travel. Traditional physics offers theoretical approaches to faster-than-light travel, manipulating space-time through exotic matter, creating wormholes, or exploiting quantum entanglement. All would produce detectable signatures, gravitational waves, particle emissions, dimensional distortions. 3I/ATLAS's Vanishing Act showed none of these. Whatever they're doing, it's not in our textbooks, admitted one MIT theoretical physicist. They're doing something that makes our most advanced theories look like cave paintings. The electromagnetic pulse during rematerialization provided the first clue. It wasn't chaotic energy release, it was a precisely modulated signal containing mathematical information describing the object's new position relative to local gravitational fields. The implications were staggering. 3I/ATLAS hadn't moved through space at all. It had somehow edited its location in the universe's fundamental information structure. Think of reality as a vast computer program, suggested one quantum information theorist. What if advanced civilizations have learned to directly modify that code? If accurate, this meant 3I/ATLAS possessed technology that treated physical reality as programmable. Distance, time, and causality weren't absolute constraints, but variables that could be manipulated. Every defensive strategy assumes opponents must physically travel between positions, noted one Pentagon analyst. If they can simply choose to be elsewhere, our entire military doctrine becomes obsolete. 3I/ATLAS's new position wasn't random. From 12 million kilometers ahead of Jupiter, it enjoyed an unobstructed view of the inner solar system, while Jupiter's massive gravitational field provided the perfect launching point for trajectories to any destination. It's like parking at the intersection of all major highways, explained one orbital dynamics expert. From that position, you can reach any destination with minimal energy expenditure and maximum speed. But the positioning revealed perfect understanding of gravitational mechanics across multiple bodies. The mathematics would challenge our most powerful supercomputers. 3I/ATLAS had performed these calculations instantaneously while executing impossible translocation. Computer simulations revealed the position wasn't just strategically optimal, it was mathematically perfect. The object sat at a gravitational balance point, requiring minimal energy to maintain position while providing optimal observation of the entire inner solar system. They appeared at the one spot where they could remain stationary with virtually no fuel expenditure while maintaining optimal surveillance, one astrophysicist observed. The positioning also provided multiple escape routes. From its current location, 3I/ATLAS could use Jupiter's gravity well to slingshot toward any destination, including high-speed departure back to deep space if Earth proved hostile. They've given themselves every tactical advantage, observed one military strategist. Perfect surveillance position, minimal energy requirements, and maximum mobility for whatever comes next. The teleportation event triggered the most comprehensive military alert in human history. Within hours, classified networks carried urgent updates worldwide. NORAD elevated to DEFCON 2 for the first time since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Similar escalations occurred across nuclear-armed nations. Everything changed when that object demonstrated instantaneous relocation capability, admitted one Pentagon source. Previous threat assessments assumed we'd have warning if hostile intentions became apparent. That assumption just evaporated. Military planners acknowledged that conventional defense strategies were useless. Missile defense systems became irrelevant when threats could materialize inside protected zones. Early warning networks meant nothing against enemies who didn't need to travel. Instead, contingency plans focused on continuity of government. Key leaders dispersed to secure locations. Essential military command structures relocated to hardened facilities. "We're not planning to fight them," explained one defense analyst. "We're planning to survive whatever they decide to do to us." International cooperation reached unprecedented levels. Ancient rivalries were set aside as nations realized 3I/ATLAS represented a threat to human civilization itself. Intelligence sharing agreements were signed between former adversaries. The ESA cancelled all launches for 6 months. NASA postponed Mars missions indefinitely. China suspended lunar construction projects. The message was clear: humanity would avoid actions that might be interpreted as threatening. World leaders began personal preparations, suggesting they expected the worst: a species suddenly realizing its position at the bottom of a cosmic food chain. 3I/ATLASs. Teleportation triggered an immediate response from its escort fleet, revealing the true scope of alien presence in our solar system. Within minutes, deep space monitoring detected coordinated movement from all 7 escort objects. Not gradual adjustments, but simultaneous course changes executed with military precision across billions of kilometers. Object B vanished from Saturn's vicinity for 14 seconds before rematerializing in the asteroid belt. Object C disappeared from Uranus and reappeared near Mars within 8 seconds. One by one, the entire fleet demonstrated the same reality-defying translocation capabilities. "They're repositioning for something," observed a tracking operator. "This isn't random, it's tactical deployment." The new formation created a perfect sphere around Earth's orbital path, with 3I/ATLAS positioned at the optimal command location near Jupiter. "It's a containment formation," concluded one military strategist. "They've surrounded us." But the coordinated teleportation revealed something more disturbing: instantaneous communication across interplanetary distances. The simultaneity of movements indicated all 8 objects were connected by a network that ignored light speed limitations. "They're not just communicating faster than light," noted one physicist. "They're sharing consciousness across space. These aren't separate vessels, they're components of a single distributed intelligence." Instead of 8 separate alien vessels, Earth was being observed by a single vast alien mind distributed across the entire solar system. Analysis revealed sophisticated planning. Each escort object now monitored specific human activities: military installations, communication networks, population centers. Object D focused on nuclear weapons facilities. Object F monitored satellites. Object G watched internet infrastructure. "They know exactly where to hurt us," admitted one NSA analyst. "Every critical system, every vulnerability, they've mapped it all." The repositioning occurred without detectable energy expenditure. 8 massive objects had simultaneously teleported across billions of kilometers without generating any signatures. "The energy requirements should have lit up every sensor on Earth," puzzled one physicist. "Instead, we detected nothing." Earth now sat surrounded by an alien intelligence that could appear anywhere without warning, coordinate instantaneously across vast distances, and operated with complete immunity to physical laws that constrained human technology. 29 days remain until Halloween. But 3I/ATLAS and its escort fleet have demonstrated they don't need to wait for scheduled arrivals. The teleportation capabilities collapsed every timeline, every prediction, every scenario that governments spent months preparing. If the alien fleet can relocate anywhere at will, then proximity becomes meaningless. Distance becomes irrelevant. Time becomes a luxury we may not have. Current positioning places the entire alien fleet within instantaneous striking distance of Earth. Every defensive strategy, every evacuation plan, every contingency protocol has become obsolete against opponents who treat space and time as optional constraints. But the repositioning revealed something potentially more significant: intelligence spanning decades of observation. The precision with which each escort vessel targeted specific human vulnerabilities indicates detailed long-term surveillance. They know our weaknesses not from recent scanning, but from years of systematic study. This raises haunting questions. How long have they been watching? What triggered their decision to reveal themselves now? And most critically, what have they concluded about humanity's fitness to exist? The teleportation technology represents more than advanced physics. It represents a fundamental relationship with reality that makes these beings effectively omnipresent within our solar system. They can observe from any position, strike from any angle, and disappear before retaliation becomes possible. Yet they haven't attacked. Despite demonstrating capabilities that make human resistance meaningless, despite positioning for optimal tactical advantage, despite revealing years of studying our weaknesses, they remain observers. The question is whether this restraint represents benevolent intention or simply the patience of predators who know their prey cannot escape. The coordinated movement suggests a level of shared consciousness that challenges our understanding of individuality itself. Are we dealing with 8 separate civilizations working together, or with a single vast intelligence that experiences existence across multiple bodies? The distinction may determine whether first contact involves diplomacy between species or integration into a collective consciousness spanning star systems. Government preparations continue, but the reality is stark. We are preparing for scenarios that may no longer be physically possible. How do you evacuate populations when threats can appear anywhere without warning? How do you defend infrastructure when opponents can manifest inside your most secure facilities? The answer may be that we can't, and perhaps that's the point. If 3I/ATLAS and its fleet wanted to demonstrate absolute superiority, they've succeeded. If they wanted to show that human resistance would be futile, the message has been received. If they wanted to prove that our fate rests entirely in their hands, the lesson has been learned. The implications extend beyond military strategy into human psychology and social stability. How does a species maintain hope when confronted with beings possessing godlike capabilities? How do we preserve agency and purpose when faced with intelligences that can rewrite physics at will? Religious institutions worldwide grapple with theological questions without precedent. Does the existence of beings capable of manipulating reality itself challenge fundamental concepts of divinity? Or does it confirm that the universe contains mysteries and powers beyond human comprehension? Scientific communities face their own existential crisis. Theories that guided human understanding for centuries were rendered obsolete in 17 minutes and 34 seconds. The standard model of physics, Einstein's relativity, quantum mechanics, all must be reconsidered in light of beings who treat these laws as mere suggestions. But perhaps most profound is the psychological impact on individual consciousness. Every person on Earth must now live knowing their world exists at the discretion of entities whose capabilities exceed imagination. The illusion of human agency, of control over our destiny, has been shattered by beings who can appear anywhere, anytime, with powers that make our greatest achievements seem like children's toys. Economic implications are already manifesting in systemic collapse. Global markets have entered freefall as investors realize that traditional concepts of national security, territorial sovereignty, and economic stability have no meaning when faced with beings who can instantaneously relocate anywhere in the solar system. Supply chains built on predictable transportation and secure territorial control are unraveling as planners confront the possibility that critical infrastructure could be targeted by beings who need no advance warning and leave no trace of approach. The foundations of modern civilization, built on assumptions of geographical distance, travel time, and physical barriers, have been revealed as illusory. So we wait. Not for their arrival because they're already here. Not for their capabilities to be revealed because they've demonstrated powers beyond comprehension. We wait for their judgment. 29 days until Halloween. But in a universe where city-sized objects can rewrite their location at will, tomorrow is as uncertain as next month. The only certainty is that we are no longer alone, and we are no longer in control. Whatever happens next will be decided not by human choice, but by the intentions of beings who treat the laws of physics as suggestions, and the fate of worlds as variables in equations we can't even read. The countdown continues, but the rules of the game have been rewritten by players we're only beginning to understand. Stay vigilant, because in a universe where distance means nothing and time can be negotiated, the next chapter of human history could begin at any moment. A collective consciousness that spans star systems. Government preparations continue around the clock, but the reality is stark. We are preparing for scenarios that may no longer be physically possible. How do you evacuate populations when the threat can appear anywhere without warning? How do you defend critical infrastructure when your opponents can manifest inside your most secure facilities? The answer may be that we can't. And perhaps that's the point. If 3I/ATLAS and its fleet wanted to demonstrate absolute superiority, they've succeeded. If they wanted to make clear that human resistance would be futile, the message has been received. If they wanted to show that our fate now rests entirely in their hands, the lesson has been learned. The implications extend beyond military strategy into the realm of human psychology and social stability. How does a species maintain hope when confronted with beings who possess godlike capabilities? How do we preserve our sense of agency and purpose when faced with intelligences that can rewrite the laws of physics at will? Religious institutions worldwide are grappling with theological questions that have no precedent. Does the existence of beings capable of manipulating reality itself challenge fundamental concepts of divinity? Or does it confirm that the universe contains mysteries and powers beyond human comprehension that have always existed in the spaces between what we thought we knew? Scientific communities face their own existential crisis. Theories that have guided human understanding for centuries have been rendered obsolete in the span of 17 minutes and 34 seconds. The standard model of physics, Einstein's relativity, quantum mechanics, all must be reconsidered in light of beings who treat these laws as mere suggestions. But perhaps most profound is the psychological impact on individual human consciousness. Every person on Earth must now live with the knowledge that their world exists at the discretion of entities whose capabilities exceed imagination. The illusion of human agency, of control over our destiny, has been shattered by the simple demonstration that our observers can appear anywhere, anytime, with powers that make our greatest achievements seem like children's toys. The economic implications are already manifesting in ways that suggest deep systemic collapse. Global markets have entered freefall as investors realize that traditional concepts of national security, territorial sovereignty, and economic stability have no meaning when faced with beings who can instantaneously relocate anywhere in the solar system. How do you price risk when the risk factors include entities who can rewrite reality? Supply chains built on predictable transportation times and secure territorial control are beginning to unravel as planners confront the possibility that critical infrastructure could be targeted or disrupted by beings who need no advance warning and leave no trace of their approach. The foundations of modern civilization, built on assumptions of geographical distance, travel time, and physical barriers, have been revealed as illusory. So we wait, not for their arrival because they're already here, not for their capabilities to be revealed because they've demonstrated powers beyond our comprehension. We wait for their judgment, 29 days until Halloween. But in a universe where city-sized objects can rewrite their location at will, tomorrow is as uncertain as next month. The only certainty is that we are no longer alone, and we are no longer in control. Whatever happens next will be decided not by human choice, but by the intentions of beings who treat the laws of physics as suggestions and the fate of worlds as variables in equations we can't even read. The countdown continues, but the rules of the game have been rewritten by players we're only beginning to understand. Stay vigilant. Because in a universe where distance means nothing and time can be negotiated, the next chapter of human history could begin at any moment.